I am making this video today to call upon Brown University to change our grading system this semester to universal pass in order to level the playing field for all students. At first, this video was really hard for me to make. I personally have really succeeded here at Brown University, and I feel as though that I found a pretty strong support system. I wanted to first shout out to Dean Eli and her committee for really helping me through a lot of tough financial times at Brown University. But with that said, there are faculty members who are responding and being completely unsupportive of students. Brown always says that we are this community, but how can we call ourselves a strong familial community unit if we have marginalized members of our community who are calling for help? If we are a community, we must uplift these students by creating an equitized and standardized grading system. And Universal Pass does just that. So what exactly is Universal Pass? A group of student advocates at Yale created something called No Fail Yale. And with it comes a Universal Pass grading system. Student advocates at Brown adopted No Fail Yale's Universal Pass and created a Universal Pass system that fit within the Brown academic confines. With Universal Pass, students will receive two grade options, a P or a P with distinction. For students who are on the track to get an A, they will be able to receive a P with distinction and add that towards their GPA. So why exactly is Universal Pass so important for students? With Universal Pass, no student has the ability to fail. And why should they? I think we have to remember that our conditions have completely changed. Students are no longer in this safe environment of being on campus. On campus, Brown does a great job of creating this space for students to really thrive. Students who struggle with mental health illnesses have the ability to be surrounded by a support system, whether that be their friends or in-person therapy sessions that are free. Secondly, as students, we have really great, safe study places. For some students, like me, that's the library. For other students, that is the ability to work in their dorm room or their apartment room with no noise. But this unprecedented situation has ripped students away from this safe space and their strong support system. As a result, the home situations that students are in right now are different from student to student. We have students who are currently struggling with mental health illnesses back at home, and they don't have access to free in-person therapy sessions. Secondly, we have students who are low-income students, like myself, who has lost their on-campus jobs, who depend on these on-campus jobs in order to buy groceries and pay for bills, to pay for Wi-Fi. And to make matters worse, our current economy has led to over 6.6 million people filing for unemployment. So the reality is that there's low-income students whose parents have lost their jobs, and as a result, it's left to the students to support their family members. How can you focus on grades when you don't even know where your next paycheck is coming from to pay for your groceries? I think it's important to mention that the only grading change Brown has done was push our S and NC deadline back to May 1st. There's not really a choice for many students in choosing the pass-fail option or the grade option. Rather, it's merely an illusion of choice. Because reality is, marginalized students don't have a choice to take their classes S and C. They don't have the mental capacity and ability to focus on grades during a time like this. The people who have choices are students who are privileged and blessed enough to come from really stable families. That's not a choice for all of us. I think what's the most disheartening factor out of everything that's happening is the way in which some of our highest positioned faculty members are responding to these very personal testimonials. Our dean of the college wrote us an email after receiving countless student testimonials saying this: "The communications that I have found the most compelling have come from students who have overcome challenges after struggling academically during their first years at Brown, and whose grades this term would document their success. For these students, letter grades this semester, even if only in one class, could showcase their resilience in the face of adversity and help them secure access to future opportunities." I decided to do some research, and I looked up the work of George Bonato in his article titled Loss, Trauma, and Human Resilience. Bonato states, resilience reflects the ability to maintain a stable equilibrium. There are multiple and sometimes unexpected pathways to resilience. Resiliency comes in different forms for different people. People are able to maintain the state of equilibrium in different ways. Resiliency is not necessarily showing that you're able to obtain an A at the end of a semester. And quite frankly, I don't think our entire conversation should be surrounded by a student's ability to be resilient during this time, especially not a student's ability to be academically resilient. Our only concern as a university should be the safety and well-being of our students during this time. And if we have students who are calling out for help, who say, hey, I cannot focus on my grades because I am getting beaten at home, how could you tell them that they must still focus on their grades? How do you write them back and say, hi, I think that story is less compelling than the story of someone who told me I would like to focus on a letter grade. Dear Browning University, you have the opportunity to be a leader by creating an education system that prioritizes equity in a time like today. Why are you not taking it? Dear Brown University students and Brown University faculty members, if you're privileged enough to be mentally healthy, economically stable, and have a safe space to stay, please be empathetic and put yourself in the shoes of students who don't know where their next meal is going to come from, and students who are caring for loved ones. And ask yourself, would you be able to focus on a letter grade? If you want to check out any more material about Universal Pass and what that means, I will link the Facebook page down below, as well as any other materials that you can use to help push this initiative. This video is very different from the videos that I normally film, but I'm the type of person where when I feel passionate about something, I try to stand up and have my voice heard as much as possible. I want to say a big thank you to all of the student advocates who have organized this, who have been at the front row of just pushing this. So if you liked this video, please like the video down below, leave a comment. It really helps to push the overall video out to more people and giving this a better chance of actually passing. Lastly, as always, don't forget to subscribe. All right, bye guys.